So that's category one down after a good while. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about a lot with all these. Now this one is our favorite game that didn't necessarily come out this past year, but was still when we discovered it and we found a lot of great time with it. So, because I haven't heard your voice in a while, Randy, it's your turn again to talk about what was your favorite new to me game of this past year.
I think my favorite new to me game was actually um it did actually come out this year. I think it may have went into early access technically late 24, but I played it a little and I came back to it once it came full release. Is it's a rebirth of this classic series. That actually I never played any of the classics. It's called Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Mm.
There's
Okay.
a lot of like in regards to like big racing games out at the moment, you got on PlayStation, you got your Gran Turismo, which is really fun, and then you got your Forza and whatnot on Xbox and Forza Horizon. Albeit now Forza Horizon is actually also available on PlayStation, um, and I am still I'm still playing those games, but they're a lot more complex. Like I'll just use Forza for example because I play that the most of those two games. Um, like you got all these activities and collectibles you got to do. You got I think it's almost 1,000 cars at this point now. That has been added via like live service and whatnot. All these different types of events and whatnot, and uh, and like all that's fun and whatnot. But I think there's something really interesting in what you can do when you're focused on just a small game that's like, you know what this game is? This is a game about racing around on the Tokyo Expressway. And that's it. It's
Mm.
cars have decent amount of customization. The progression feels really earned, which is something I think especially Forza has struggled with is and some of that is great for accessibility of just being like, I just want to try this game and like you get a lot of rewards and stuff really easily in Forza. So if you're like, man, I really want to drive a this Lamborghini or whatnot, you can probably get to driving that in like 40 minutes or something. Maybe that's a little exaggerated, but yeah. Um, to where it feels like you really have to work and earn um, your rewards in this game of going around and it's just you drive up behind someone and you just flash your lights at them and then it's just a getaway mechanic basically. There's a set route along it and there's traffic and like there's nitro and whatnot, but even then you got to work to even get NOS in the first place. It takes actually quite a while. Um, and it's just a simply outrun mechanic to where if they pull far enough away from you, your health bar depletes. You pull far enough away from them, their health bar depletes. Um, it's relatively simple. It does have all licensed cars, which is really cool. Um, a lot of like smaller racing games don't. So instead of like a Nissan GTR, it's a Nissan RGT or something. You know, legally
Mm.
distinct.
Of course.
Um, yeah, yeah, and yeah, being able to work for it, and it's not just given to you freely. And there's a lot of good customization as well. And yeah, it's a really fun game to pass the time. Um, I mean, there's a vague looseness idea of a story. Um, that's like, oh, why why do you race and whatnot? It's more of like instead of just like Forza where it's like, oh, you're the best in the world, and that's why you do this. Isn't this so fun? We're all having so much fun. It's more of like almost uh, a little bit self-reflective, I guess, in regards to like a persona of like a street racer, of like what is this feeling, and reflecting upon the feeling of like this heart pumping battle or whatnot that you just had of like on the expressway and whatnot. Um, yeah, it's a very simple game. I think it falls into that same category that we were talking about you could get games that are smaller and cheaper, or from a smaller team, and still have a bunch of fun.
Probably kind of
I
have a bigger
Well, I mean,
impact
okay,
on
so
you.
it's a slightly smaller game. It's $50, but I have seen it on sale and stuff for down at like 30 before. But it's currently at the moment $50. But hey, that's still cheaper than your,
Mhm.
Battlefield 6 and or whatnot. Or I guess
I
not
mean,
6. Maybe
but
6.
I mean,
don't
like
know
think
where I'm-
about like right now, like probably people would try to. It's funny. I decided to look up gameplay. I'm watching gameplay of it, and it's like, what was people can spend $50 on this, or if they want to buy the freaking whatever that Need for Speed game that EA came out with like a while back that was like very graffiti art ish or whatever, but people didn't fuck with it that much.
An
I
interesting
can't remember
style.
the
You're
name.
talking about Need for Speed Unbound.
Yeah. Like I feel
It was
like
all
I'm
right. I
watching.
played that game too. But
Yeah, and I'm watching like gameplay of this one, Tokyo Extreme Racer, which actually is like what the fourth game in this series technically.
I think it's not even the fourth. I think it's technically more than that because there was a bunch of offshoots. But yeah, and also, oh my
Gotcha.
god, the sense of speed is fantastic because you're on these like kind of smaller roads because it's just like there are some wider sections when you go a little bit further south, but there's some sections where it's relatively tight despite being a highway racer game, and just
Mhm.
like the camera shake when you hit the nos and whatnot. It's good. The sense of speed is good. But continue.
Yeah, and like watching this, like I do like the look of it so far because if you look up any sort of gameplay of it, it looks, I mean this in the most affectionate way I can. It does look like a PS2 game kinda, but more like in
Okay,
the
give it
background. Like
PS3. But yeah,
well, like, see, the thing is, like, the cars look pretty well detailed and stuff, in the roadway, but then, like, when you're driving past these buildings, they kind of have that almost like cardboard cutout look to them, where it's just like they're not quite real. They're just kind of there to stand, and provide like an idea of like a background to the race, but like in a weird way, it kind of adds to the vibe of this game, I think,
oh
where
yeah. I
it
mean, I guess
doesn't look bad. It just looks like it's very focused on the race, and it's set at night, and you have these like little office buildings like racing past you, where yeah, they may not be very detailed, but it weirdly adds to the vibe of this like late night racer type game. So I think I can see where you're coming from on that.
yeah. It has a certain uh energy and a certain, I guess, aura and almost like romanticizing of this time in Japan of like the late 80s to like uh mid 90s of like, because there was people that did exactly this, and like raced around on the highways and stuff. There was even like clubs that were kind of particular about it, like particularly there was one called Club Midnight and stuff. Like there's the whole lore thing, and I won't get into it to make this podcast any longer.
Yeah,
But it's cool. It's cool.
I was that like in yet some of the Yakuza games, like Yakuza 5 and like Lost Judgment, there's like highway racing mini games too. Like in Yakuza 5, there's like a entire sub story where like Kiryu is racing against like this highway gang because they think he drives a
Because of course he
taxi.
is.
Yeah, he drives a taxi in that game for like work, and they think that he's like an actual like race car driver or whatever. And he's like, "No, I'm not interested in this," but they kind of rope him in anyways. But it's got a really fun mini game where you like street race with like NOS and everything on the highways.
Yeah, yeah,
And you,
yeah.
you describing that just reminds me of that.
That's actually pretty pretty funny. One of the earlier, like right when you start the game, like it does open up a bit more in regards to like number of street racers and stuff. But right when you open, it's relatively small and whatnot, and you can actually race the traffic, so you can race a taxi, which
Yeah.
is really funny. I think you can
That's
race
funny.
a taxi. You can race like a flatbed, like small truck, that has like it looks like a box, like a U-Haul truck that we'd have around here, but without the top on it. It's got kind of
Mhm.
like and you can like race against like K cars and stuff. Oh no, it's fun. It's fun to just start off initially, and then you eventually scale up. I think the most expensive car might be like the Lexus LFA or something like that, and you get the newest GTRs and stuff like that. But it's cool. It's cool.
This
All
this
right.
is also off topic, but later I got a game I need to recommend you. That's like it's like a PS1 graphic kind of racing game, but it looks really freaking fun to play. It just came out on Steam a couple years ago.
Yeah, you can shoot me a message about it in a bit.
Yeah.
All right. While they talk about that game that they haven't played yet, Seth, how about me and you talk about a game that me and you have played a little bit? Seth, what is your favorite game that you discovered this year?
Ooh, okay. So now me, new to me.
Yes.
Are you sure you don't want to go first? Because it may not be what you were thinking.
Sure, I'll go first. Why not? I'll go first. But I think you'll like to talk about mine as well. Because to me, my favorite game that is new to me, is a much older game. Um, but it is one that Seth, you and our other friends got me into specifically because you needed one more person for the grind, and it is Gears of War 2.
Yeah.
Specifically only for like the horde mode, but I just remember I was like, God, I forgot how good the Gears games are, and specifically like how good old school like these old school third person shooters are. It's so much fun, and it like part of it is cheating because I'm not even really even talking about Gears 2 as a whole as a game. Good game, like still a fun
Mhm.
game, fun story, like revolutionized kind of like third person like mechanics and shooting and all that. That's all great. I don't care about that. What I care about is this version, if this game's version of a horde shooter, and just the late night like fun that we're all having on this insanely hard mode that
Mhm.
does get significantly easier when you have multiple people. But I just love this old school mentality of games of just like if a horde mode was put into there, they'd probably be like, "Oh, we're gonna lower the difficulty if you're playing solo or like add some." Nah, they don't care. It's the exact same amount of enemies. It is relentless, and they don't care. But that kind of adds to the fun of it and the chaos. The voice lines are iconic. The grind, advancing.
Mhm.
All that's like we quote that dumb stuff to each other all the time. And it is like I love that like we can still play this on like new gen systems, and it plays exactly like back in like the 360 era days, and it still brings back those fun memories. So this one's definitely like kind of more nostalgic, but I never got to do the Gears to like horde mode because I never played it with you guys, and I never played this game when it first came out. Um, but, like being able to go back, like kind of relearn this, and just like so many dumb moments of like, okay, well we always have to like stay in pairs of two because if one person is it down, we can just mass X and bring it back up real quick, and then you have to like fight your way out because you're surrounded now. Um, I can't explain it. Like I love this game, and it is the perfect game to like de-stress after like a night of like really intense multiplayer with either like Overwatch or Marvel or especially Siege. Like the best
Mhm.
thing to do is do all that nice and be like, all right, we kind of need a break. Let's let's grind and just get on to Gears and do the horde mode. Just it's like it's a weird nostalgic, but it's nostalgic for something I never got to do before. So I'm really glad I got to experience this game with you guys.
I
I'm
know
I'm glad that
exactly
you.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
like I had a very similar thing the Mass Effect, with the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and
Oh yeah.
I doubt it. I doubt anyone from BioWare is listening, but do an update to put the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer in Legacy Edition. Reset your
Yeah.
progress and leave it exactly the same. You'll still make money off of it. Like people are
That.
gonna buy those loot boxes, or people
Yeah.
are just gonna grind away at it like I will. And like,
Yep.
God, I want that on and make it crossplay anyway. But I know exactly what you mean for those horde shooters and whatnot, and having that nostalgia for something that you kind of came back to later after a lot of people already left. I have that
Mhm.
exact same thing with the Mass Effect multiplayer.
It's like we kind of took that for granted back on like the 360 with like Firefight and Halo or like COD Zombies, stuff like that.
Mhm. And I think I have to speak to this because yeah, like I remember like this idea started with like we've been playing a lot of multiplayer games and like I don't know what's in the water or just or being matched up or we're just getting older and we're being matched up with kids that are like cracked out on Adderall or some
We're
shit.
just fucking
Um
washed. I think that's the answer.
but
We just don't want to
yeah,
say it. We're washed.
but I mean yeah, you're right. I
Destroyed,
think we're just
washed.
old. I think we're washed.
Hey, at least
Trash
But
day.
at least we're clean and not sweaty.
yeah. But anyways, like I just like oh my god, like I can't keep up with this. I was just trying to think of like, I've been having a weird hankering to just go back to Gears, but not like newer Gears, like Gears 5 or anything like that. Like I want to go to old school Gears. It's like Gears of War 2. So I remember talking with Zane and Luke and then getting roping all you guys into this eventually was just like, let's just go to Gears of War 2 and just play Horde mode. Just trust me on this, bro. And what I love about Gears of War 2 is it's so fun. There's a lot of depth in like, okay, there's these specific enemy types like Cantuses. You have to prioritize because they revive your enemies, and then you have like the boomers and grinders, and they go boom, grind, and they're appearing on the map. And it's it's all these different this depth to the gameplay about advancing through the waves, working together, knowing the positioning, dying and resetting and being like, okay, what do we need to do this time to make sure if this group of enemies spawn, we need to do this to make sure to hold them off. Like the strategizing, figuring out how to get the map to work.
You two go to this end of the map, so they can't use the spawn that goes right behind us. So they only can
Exactly.
spawn that into the map. Like,
And I love it because something that kind of turned me off with later Gears, like once we get into like Gears 4 and 5, because Drew, I think you were with us when Gears 5 had came out in like 2019, and we
Yeah.
played some of the multiplayer and stuff, and it was fun, it was enjoyable, but could not get into the Horde mode. And I think the reason why is like, I'm not interested when I play these kinds of games for something overly complex, where I'm like, I don't necessarily want to have skill trees or classes or having to accrue resources to spend to build traps to slow them down or to build turrets or whatever. Like I'm not interested in that. I love the simplicity of Gears of War 2 where it's like you have a map, you have your squad, you have your enemies, you got to figure it out. Like that's just it. There's no loadouts or anything. The only thing you get to choose, the difference is like two very similar functioning starter weapons, the Lancer and the Hammer Burst, and what character you want to listen to scream voice lines for the next hour and a half.
you can also
That's
stack up characters as well. We did a couple of games where there were like, I
nothing
think
but Coltrane.
like four of us is Coltrane.
It's like Coltrane, baby, woo!
Yeah.
Like the whole time, and it's just. But those are my favorite nights. It's just how much fun it is to just get through the waves, but also like the game is so good where even the failures are fun. Seeing things where like we have seen cases where it's like 3 against 1. It's like, okay, guys, we got this. It's just one dude, and all of a sudden the AI just like trips out and just like one shots everybody and bounces them. And we're like, we have to do this again. Like it's the perfect amount of like bits of jank that's like god, it's why I love gaming in the 360 era. And it brings me back, and to me I'm like, this is what I'm looking for in Horde modes, which is just I don't need something complex, I don't need skill trees and the level up and shit like that. Sometimes you just give me a gun, give me a really fun voice lines and really fun enemies to fight and my friends, and I'm gonna have a good time. Like that's it. So yeah, I Gears of War 2 has been a fun one, and I'm glad that like this game has kind of become like our de-stress from other multiplayer games game
it's a
because Zane doesn't want to do Minecraft.
because Zane
For shame.
specifically does not want to do my gut. But you know what, Seth? I respect your very determined grind to constantly push Minecraft every chance you get.
The
It
funniest
does-
part, and I can say this because I know Zane's not gonna watch this.
Yeah.
I'm not even that invested in Minecraft. I don't really care for that game that much. I just know that
It's
it
mainly
annoys
just
them.
for him.
You're doing it for the bit. I respect that.
Honestly, Seth, I'm glad you told me that. I'm gonna double down on it now. I'm also gonna keep suggesting it to him. I
The
thought
way-
it was a bit thing you were just, for whatever reason says on a Minecraft game. It's a bit. Oh, we're every time we lose a game, I mean, this
Mm,
wouldn't happen in Minecraft. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The kind of Minecraft player you need to know that I'm like is I'm the type of person that's like I build my little base. I build it up so that I eventually maybe get diamond gear. Maybe I build a nether portal. Probably burn down a village or two, and then it's like, yep, I'm done. That's all I need to do in Minecraft. Like that and then I never returned to the game for 5 years. That's a normal playthrough for me.
Yeah, good times, good times. All right, well, well, this is good going through memory lane. Um, then I will go to So are you ready to go for yours? Now,
Oh
do
yeah,
you?
it just spoiler for this. The way you made it sound like it's like, oh, the game we could both talk about. I thought you were gonna want me to talk about Helldivers 2. I'm sorry, it's not on
Oh,
this thing, but I will be talking
no,
about it
actually,
later.
it's not on mine either. I thought about Helldivers too, but I'm like,
That is another good de-stress game,
years.
though. That is
Yeah.
another good de-stress game.
It depends what difficulty. If you play with a group that only plays on Super Helldive, it's not distressing at all.
Yeah, we're not.
Hey,
we don't do
hey,
that.
Robert's friends who listen
Look,
to
I'm
this,
level 13. They can't play
stop.
on that hard of a difficulty.
It's Helldivers 2. You don't get any special rewards besides some extra XP and requisition slips. You don't have to prove anything to anyone on Super Helldive. You
Yeah.
could chill out now. That's
Like
my message to
you
Robert's
pretty much
friends.
get the exact same
They-
rewards. I think was it level 6 as well because you still get the super samples on 6.
Yeah, it's
Have-
just that like the multiplayer is like 3 times, like basically, like think 3 times everything once you're on Super Helldive.
half the
Yeah, and
group
there's
I
no
play with
reason
is
to.
already at level cap, so I don't know how much even matters at that point.
Yeah, it's like, what are you playing for? There's no achievement. There's no special cosmetic for you to grind for. Like, it's just like, what do you accomplish out of this? It's like you guys are psychopaths, but also put on the difficulty you want. But also, we're more of like a we're like a chill out and dive kind of crew. You know, like we just want to go in and just kill some fucking bugs with our double barrel shotguns and call it a day.
Maybe push the hell bomb on Cess back and then teleport away.
Maybe
See what happens.
maybe there's a couple of suicide bombings. You never know. Like
Yeah.
it helps liven up the party. And then you
Right.
just you get the button turned on, and instead of dropping it like a normal person, you just run straight at Randy who doesn't know what's happening.
I
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening in that game.
My
I'm
favorite
starting to
moment
get there.
too-
But, you know.
my favorite moment was that there was one time that I like because I like using the teleport like the warp pack. I went in, pushed the button, teleported away, and Seth. I don't even know if Seth knew it was me that pushed the button, but he's like, "Well, I can't catch Drew. He's teleporting. I'll just run at Zane." And Zane's like,
No,
"It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't push the button. It wasn't me."
no. So I knew Drew's the one that pressed it, but also Zane was the one who kind of instigated the whole like staring at my backpack for a long time, like acting like he's gonna, but not doing it yet. And also it's my brother. I'm almost like I'm legally obligated to like
Yeah.
blow him up when I get the chance.
Absolutely.
There's a reason the first time that like I got the backpack, the first thing I did with it was teleport into Randy with it. Like it's kind of my thing. Like this is what you do.
Nothing personal, just business.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll talk about Helldivers 2 later. I do have it on somewhere where I can talk about it, but like it's a fun game. Check it out. It's super great. It's as good as everybody else says it is. Moving
Yeah.
on. Yeah, but my actual new to me game, I'm not going to beat around with like pomp and circumstance on it. It's just going to be a long name, and just bear with me on it. It is Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, which is a tactics. No, sorry. It is a very old school top down RPG, similar to like the older Baldur's Gate games that came out in 2018, developed by Obsidian. You know them for making like The Outer Worlds, Fallout New Vegas. Pillars of Eternity is their baby. I love Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. It is got to be one of, if not the best RPG I've played ever. I know that sounds like an exaggeration. It probably a little bit is. But I was playing it in anticipation of another game that was coming out this year, and I was blown away by how much I enjoyed this game. I skipped the first one because Pillars 2 was the one they talk about. And just to sell the premise, think of it as an older school RPG, CRPG in the vein of Baldur's Gate, but it's very much more pirate themed. So it's set in the Deadfire archipelago. and you basically get to command a ship, and you're trying to resolve an issue with a god that has started a rampage across the Isles, and you're trying to figure out what's making this god act up, why they're doing this, and how you can stop it. And all the while, you're navigating all these different factions. And what I love about Pillars of Eternity 2 is it truly feels like a game that you are taking control of. You are truly taking control of the story, because based on how you can side with the factions and how you work with the different characters, but it doesn't do it in the obvious way of like presenting moral choices like you either do this or you either do that. What I love is like, once again, this is a game that approaches choices with nuance. uh I remember in this game that there was one of my tasks required me to go find a person who had been captured by slavers on this one island. And basically they broke it down like, hey, this whole island has been taken over by slavers. This is like their like headquarters of where they operate out of. And it's almost like a tabletop RPG, because basically the game is telling you, go find this guy. He's going to help you break in and hopefully break this guy out without causing a scene. As soon as I show up on the island, I just start killing motherfuckers. I just start killing everyone on the island, all the slavers, because I'm like, slavers are bad guys. Fuck them. So, and the game progresses like, well, fuck it. Yeah, you kill everyone on the island. And then you free your guy. What I wasn't expecting is how complex my actions would actually be. Because I had actually killed off all the slavers on this island, I had accidentally created a power vacuum where this one imperialistic faction, which you can work with if you want to, actually comes in and takes over the island and uses it as one of their forward operating bases. I'm like, wait, hold on, wait a second. I didn't mean for that to happen, but because there was no choice. I had just done this as a player naturally, and this empire, they're called the Rawatai, had come in, taken it over. And when I was doing some of the quests for the other factions, there was one group of people, this isolationist tribe. It's like, hey, you've done some good stuff for us, but we're not gonna like do what your asses do. And I'm like, why? It's like, because you helped out the Rawatai Empire take over this island. And I'm like, I thought I was doing a good thing by killing all the slavers. I didn't know I was going to actually allow like a colonial force to come in and take over after them. And it's like, it's so interesting and it's so complex. Um, I absolutely like adore that. Like, this is the way the game approaches choices. It also has another neat mechanic where it's called, like, I think the attitude mechanic, where basically you kind of build the personality of your character based on certain dialogue choices you pick. The more you pick stuff like honest, like dialogue choices, or like sketchy dialogue choices, or sadist dialogue choices, the more that characters will just react to you automatically based on those things. Like, oh, you're kind of like weird and creepy. I kind of don't want anything to do with you, type vibe. Um, and me playing as a rogue, obviously, I would go with a lot of the sketchy options. Because I'd be like, yeah, I want to unlock all like the sort of like shady dialogue options of like, I'm a criminal, I kind of lie and get my way and blah, 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 blah. So I'll do all that. Towards the end of the game, you have to make a decision on like siding with like one of the factions. And I was doing one side, I was about to side with one of these factions that worked against the Raotai Empire. I had happened to be romancing a character in the game, one of my companions who works with them. And I remembered this experience so fondly, where it's sort of like this moment of like, can I talk them away of like, you can't, don't go back to Raotai Empire. Come with me. Like, we could make this work. I remember like just trying to talk them and convince them, and it seems like I'm getting there. And I remember my character picking the option of just like, it's like, I love you. And then I remember her response being, I love you too. But then it showed the sketchy dialogue option and like a bracket showing this. I unlocked this dialogue option from her, and she says, but I also know I can't trust you. And I'm like, oh my fucking god. So she left my party completely because of that. Because I had committed role playing so much to being a sketchy character that my romance partner in this game basically said like, I'm not turning my back on my empire because I know who you are and I know I can't trust you. Blew my mind. It was an incredible role playing experience. I can't really think of another game that that does something like this this well, and I love it to death. Not to mention that this game, to hopefully wake up Drew, there's a lot of critical role involved with this game. One, you know how Baldur's Gate 3 has like a narrator for everything that's going on?
Yeah, the DM.
Um,
Yeah.
so the DM in this game is Ashley Johnson. She's the one that
Love her.
narrates all your actions. So that's awesome. She also voices one of the companions, which is cool.
Yeah.
Also, Laura Bailey is like this southern priest, the southern priest who worships like a death god, but she's super nice about it.
Love her as well. Yeah.
Matt Mercer in it, he's basically your Garrus. He's your ride or die. He'll do whatever. He's like, hey, I'm your homie. You know, we go through this no matter what. My favorite is Travis Willingham, who basically his whole deal is that he is sort of like a demigod in this. He's a demigod of like the water goddess of this universe or whatever. And basically all the people, he's part of this group called the Huana. All the people kind of worship him because he's tied to the god that they, you know, they obviously revere the most. But I love that basically his character breaks down to be, he's like, listen, I'll be honest with you. I have these incredible powers and all this stuff. I have this influence. I'm just doing all this to pull baddies, and that's about it. And I'm like, I kind of respect you for that.
Respect.
Okay.
I love that.
And it's so cool. There's so many different layers to like all these characters, and like obviously, like as I mentioned with the voice cast, stellar voice acting throughout this whole game. All the choices, like just being cool and being impactful, and not just being the binary, you either do this or that during the dialogue choices. Even taking into account things of like just how the player approaches the game is going to have an impact on your personal story, and those are the moments I remember more than anything else. And on top of it, I'm a weird freak where I love mythology, and this game's mythology is done so well because so much of the story is about you play as a watcher, and it means you're in direct communication with the gods of this universe, which everybody knows are real in this universe. And it's so cool because it's so much like their Greek gods, because they're petty, they're scheming, and you could develop your own relationships with them. I remember there was this one job I had like on an island, say, hey, there's a big coral overgrowth, figure this out. It turns out it was the god of nature and the hunt who was behind it. So, and he was like, hey, don't you fuck with my coral. I'll send the Kraken after you if you fuck with my coral. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. So I like destroy his coral. I destroy his Kraken. And he's like, I'll get you back for this later on. Then like 80 hours later, doing like this like fucking this huge storyline in like one of the DLCs things, and all of a sudden he shows up and he's like, I'm sending a giant boar to come kick your ass, by the way, because you killed my coral and my Kraken. And I'm like, okay, send them, I guess. Like, I love that you can have these like little like rivalries and friendships with the gods, and how much they can actually influence your game. It's so fun. I have it, and it makes me want to re-roll a character where I'm a paladin or something for one of these gods, just to see what happens because of that. So I adore Pillars of Eternity 2. And I know it came out before Baldur's Gate 3, before the CRPG craze really kicked in for a lot of people. So I felt like it almost missed its window. So it's why people don't really talk about it as much. And admittedly, also, it's not as sexy looking as Baldur's Gate 3 because it's not full 3D or anything. This is like straight up old school top down CRPG. But I implore people who, if you love, and I mean really, really love, nerdy ass RPGs, if you like Critical Role, if you like really complex factions and storytelling and really crafting your own story, and you just like being a pirate, this is the game for you. Deadfire is incredible. I can't recommend it enough. I hope to God we get a Pillars of Eternity 3 one day.
All right. Good to hear. Good recommendation. I will definitely look that game up because it does, as someone who is getting more and more into like D&D and that kind of storytelling. And also, I mean, you just kind of named my favorite people, so you know, I feel like if I didn't at least like Google and look the game up.
I would need to check it, but I think there is actually a Critical Role DLC package which kind of replaces the characters with their characters from the show that they do. So hey, you know, that might be up your alley.
Cool. All right. Um,
Yeah,
that's
it's critical Pillars of Eternity, Deadfire, Critical Role Pack, and it's a free DLC.
there we go. We love it. All right. Well, Robert, I believe that is I believe that now leaves you. What was the game that is new to you? That may not came out this year, but this is the year you really stuck your teeth in it.
So I've mentioned this series on the podcast a few times in the past, the Legend of Heroes series.
Mhm.
This year I made it to the Cold Steel arc. So I kind of want to lump all four of those games into one like package, but technically I'm not done with that arc because of the next game I need to play. But
Yeah.
so I'll just leave it at the first game, and this applies to the other ones too. But Trails of Cold Steel, right?
Mhm.
It takes place in an empire called Erebonia, and there is a lot of political unrest going on because it's got a monarchy, but there's also like ruling noble houses that aren't exactly getting along very well right now. And you play as Reen Sworzer, who is going to a military academy. Not necessarily to be in the military, but that's just kind of that world's version of like high school or whatever. But he
Okay.
basically goes there to kind of find himself because he 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 doesn't really know who he is or who he wants to be. And a lot of what these games do is kind of show like his journey and his growth along with like everything else going on in the world. Like it was really easy for me to get attached to like him and his classmates who make up your party in this game, kind of seeing like where they come from, why they're at the academy, and what kind of, I guess, them finding themselves too in a way, because a lot of the different arcs within the game focus on like a particular group of characters that Reen kind of has to work with in like the field operations and stuff. But
Mhm.
what stood out to me with playing these games is how much of like kind of myself I could see in Reen in a way.
Hmm.
Like he tends to have a lot of self-doubt, and that's something that I've always had, is a lot of self-doubt. And like there's a particular interaction in Cold Steel 1 that like really spoke to me, where there's this girl in the party who like sees that he holds himself back and puts himself in like low regard, and she basically calls him out for it. It's like, hey, we don't like seeing you like this. We know you're capable of like being a better swordsman, and you putting yourself down is kind of like, I don't know if an insult's like the best way to put it, but it's basically kind of saying like, hey, you don't need to be doing that. And there's a lots of other moments in these games that kind of speak to me through Rain. So it's made me really appreciate him as a character, on top of just further expanding on the world, because I did fall in love with that world as I played more of those
Mhm.
games, like the Trails in the Sky games, Crossbow Arc. It's a series I didn't really think I would get as like thoroughly invested in as I have been, because this is a very long running JRPG series, and
Yeah.
it seems like it's approaching like its conclusion, like maybe another arc or two, but it's like basically a long running shonen anime in JRPG form.
Hmm.
But what I'll talk about the gameplay a little bit too, is the kind of focused on the story too much. The gameplay's turn based, but you can kind of run around the field a little bit during like your turn, like positioning and stuff. But what I really like is like they use like what they call an orbit system, where you can basically augment like elements to like this device, and that's where you get like your spells and stuff. So you can kind of play around with it and make a character that has a lot of quartz and equipment that make them like to where their evasion is like they have like a 95% chance to dodge like an attack or something.
Hmm.
So playing around with that system, we're like, okay, you seem to like to get critical hits. I'm just going to build you to where your crit chance is like 60% or some shit, and kind of playing a party synergy too. Like, oh, this person's really good at casting. I can have them also buff the character to augment the stats even further, and just how much you kind of like break a lot of these games in half once you really know what you're doing. Like, really satisfying for me.
Yeah.
Is it does it have any relation to the recent remake of like Trails in Cold Sky
Trails
chapter
in the
1 and
Sky.
2? Yeah.
Um, Technically yes, because it's in the same world, same series, because the games are all kind of connected in that way. Um, Characters from Trails in the Sky don't necessarily show up in Cold Steel 1, but you'll see them show up in later games. Like in Cold Steel 3, you have some party members from Trails in the Sky that also are around for that game. And like the next game, Cold Steel 4, has like the main characters of Sky have play a pretty significant role, as well as the main characters from from Zero and Trails to Azure.
Hmm.
Like,
I,
you got
I was just interested because like I've heard a lot of people talking about this recent remake of this game, and it seems like it's been a good entry point for a
yes.
lot of people to like enter into this like sort of long running franchise.
Trails in the Sky has probably some of it's a slow burn, but it's got some of like the most like engaging writing I've seen in like a JRPG, and that applies doubly so to what's coming out later this year, which is the remake of Second Chapter. And Second Chapter is probably in like some of my most favorite games I played in all time. Like
I see.
it is so fucking good, and like the payoff from first chapter leading right into it. Like, oh man. Like, no, these games writing, if once you kind of get it, you get it. Cause like
Hmm.
I was thinking about this when I was playing like Trails to Azure, and how like some plot stuff with that tied into stuff from like Trails in the Sky first chapter and second chapter and so on. Like, you kind of see how everything kind of comes together, and it's like incredibly rewarding. And even like in the Cold Steel games, you see that because like characters you can interact with at the Skull and Cold Steel 1, kind of as you talk to them while you progress the game, um, they have like these mini storylines going on. You don't think anything about them, but then you get to like Cold Steel 3 or 4, and those characters play like a pretty significant part of the story. So it's like the world matters in these games, and that's something that if you play like a lot of like Final Fantasy or like side characters in like Persona or whatever, those characters are kind of write-offs that don't matter. But like in Trails, like these characters may show up later and be pretty important.
Okay, I see. I do like that. I also, man, it reminds me that God, I wish we could do almost like a fan like we did like the fantasy critic stuff to like bet on like what games are going to get rated really well, because I do feel like with how well received chapter 1 was, I would put a lot of money that like chapter 2 would be very well received as well.
There's a demo for like the first like the prologue of Trails in the Sky first chapter. I highly recommend you guys check it out. So you don't need any prior knowledge because it's literally the first game in the series. It plays really freaking well, and you can kind of judge from there if you want to keep going and actually buy the game. I think it's worth
Gotcha.
looking at. It's a pretty short demo.
Hmm.
It's like 4 to 5 hours, I think. Short as in like, you get a pretty significant part of the game, but it still
Yeah.
doesn't take you too long to, kind of play through.
Right. Nice.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. Well, with that, that is all of the new to me games for us. And now we are on to our brand new category, which is the kind of best accomplishment that we did. So these are all very personal stories of either we did an amazing play and did this, or we got this achievement, or we did this cool thing in a game. There's a new category, so we'll see how we like it. But I'll kind of kick us off with this one. Mainly just so it gives us another excuse to talk about Hades 2. So specifically in Hades 2, and I will, fair warning, uh, this will have to involve a spoiler because it is the last boss on the surface. So skip ahead to when I'm not talking for this, but that is a fair warning. But
God, I got a
the game's also
timestamp.
been out for a while. Yeah, it's fine. Oh my goes this far anyway. Uh, but and honestly, you should just play Hades too, so it's your fault. But uh, the last boss of the surface. First of all, another thing for Hades 2, there's two different areas. There's the underworld where you go through, and there's the surface. And just like Hades 1, you go through, you die, you come back, and you're supposed to rinse and repeat and learn your mistakes. Um, in going to the surface, it took me a lot of attempts to get to the last area. So much so that when Randy was actually with me when I finally beat Prometheus for the first time, and I was like, "Yes, I got it! I did through it!" And just in my
Mhm.
mind, I just forgot that I had only done 3 areas. There's 4, and just in that moment, I just forgot. Oh right, I didn't actually get all the way. And I go and I just don't have any life, so I die like just to a mini boss before getting there. And as frustrating as that was, I was like, all right. And then I watched Randy play the game a little bit, and I could see like, okay, so that's what the final boss is. The next day, I play and I go and I make it all, and I had like such a like good build. I had a bunch of dodge chance or whatever, but I'm like, I've never made it to the final boss before, and I finally make it, and it's Typhon, and he shows up and he's massive and he blows up the health bar so you don't know how far you're going. And on my very first attempt of fighting Typhon, I beat him on the first try.
Let's fucking
It
go.
I didn't Yeah, I didn't have to die or I didn't have to, try to memorize moves. I was just like, I have a lot of health. I saw it one time when Randy played it. So I can at least remember like 1 or 2 attacks, but I just was able to react to things, and hit it. And at a certain point, I'm like, okay, I'm doing pretty well. We're already at phase 2. Okay, I'm doing very well. And I'm just going, and it was one of those very fun moments because I was playing this on a Steam Deck, and this was during Christmas, where I am I'm playing at my sister's place, like early in the morning, so everyone's still waking up, and everything in me wants to jump up and scream like, "Yes, I fucking did it!" But also, no one else in my family plays video games, so I would have just looked insane. So I just had to quietly pause the game, take a picture of it to Randy, and be like, "Dude, look what I did!" Um,
Nice.
yeah, that game is so much
You're welcome
fun.
for the
And
inside scoop.
yeah, I love Hades 2. I think it improves on everything that Hades 1 does, from the boons to the story to the bosses. I think is the biggest improvement. And I'll admit that, like, now that I play it, I don't think Typhon is even the hardest boss in that game. But I will admit I have died to him after the fact, on later attempts. But just that moment of just like, I can fucking do it, and kind of beat the system of, because it's a roguelike, you're expected to die and just kind of move forward, and but there's always the chance that you don't. So that was a really fun moment. Hades 2 would definitely be mine and most likely Randy's game of the year, but there were just so many good fucking games this year.
Nah, I 100% get that. It's just such a, and honestly, it's like my second favorite game this year,
Oh yeah,
right behind Dispatch.
Oh,
yeah,
same.
yeah.
And
It's
it's such a shame because it's uh always the bride. It's almost like Hades kind of always ends up being like always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Because like when Hades came out, the first one, that was during a year of like, Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part Two. So
Yeah.
obviously, so like it was able to win that year, and then this year was like Expedition, and then for us, we all had different like personal top ones for our game. It's like, damn, poor Hades.
It is
Which is a shame because it is one of the best games I've ever played, undoubtedly.
it's so good. Yeah. It's amazing,
Oh.
and it is the king of everyone's second place game.
Apparently, and that's such a shame because like I said, I love it, and it's weird because I almost was begrudgingly put it at number two just because we and me have both had this like sort of like back and forth talk about like sequels, and I've never been a
Mhm.
big fan of like sequels that only like, well, what if it's bigger?
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of that, and like in a lot of ways, like Hades 2 is kind of just Hades 1 but bigger. But I'm like, but it's like, yes, it's that, but it's also more nuanced than that, and it's just
Yeah.
like now there's more than just one levels. There's two levels to dig through, and then all this stuff, and like how well the combat has like advanced since then. But fundamentally, there's so much of what Hades one is. And yeah, like no, I trust me, I get that accomplishment. I also beat Typhon like my first try whenever I got to that boss. I just think it's like it's just something about the lead up to it with like all the mini bosses, like the one dude with in the maze, uh, just
Oh my gosh.
wrecks your shit. Like
Yeah.
his like little children are tougher than Typhon himself.
Yeah. The spawn of Typhon, the big one with the horn, that was the thing that killed me the first time that I came through. I'm
Same.
just
That
like,
killed me my
what
first time up there too.
is this?
Same. That was what killed me there as well. God,
Yeah.
I love
Like,
Prometheus though. What a great boss fight. Best
Prometheus is
boss
so
fight this
fucking
year.
sick. Prometheus is so fucking cool.
I
It's
love you're basically fighting Goku is the best way I feel like it. Like Ultra Instinct Goku. Whenever you like slash and he does the thing where it slows down and he teleports right behind you, it's like son of a bitch, he did the Ultra Instinct thing to me.
yeah. Like, oh god, spam dash, spam dodge, 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 get away from
Nah, it's incredible.
It's such a good game. Well, yeah, that was like probably the most exciting moment for me. And also I needed it. Like I could have thought of like, like, oh, I got like a 6K with Iron Fist and Marvel who did this, but I'm like, no, this was the moment. And also it gave me an excuse to talk about 80s too. So yeah, and I'm still playing through it. I am going through getting like max like upgrades. Like I've beaten it like it's proper story at this point, like gotten to the credits, but now I'm going through, I'm like, all right, let's get everyone's relationship all the way up and finish everyone's little side stories. I finally woke up Hypno for the first time.
Do
Uh
the epilogue like kind of ending and
yeah.
all that. Yeah, no,
So
trust me, I'm gonna work on that eventually too.
yeah. It's such a good game, especially now that I have a Steam Deck. It is definitely is my go-to Steam Deck game. But that's my big accomplishment. Um, we'll go. I don't think I've ever done Robert in second place yet. So Robert, you get to talk about your coolest accomplishment because this was also a category this was your idea to do this one.
Look, I just needed a place to pat myself on the back. So
Yeah.
so as you guys know, I play a lot of Final Fantasy 14, probably way too much of it.
Mhm.
But there's a challenge I really wanted to complete in that game with the game's deep dungeons. So deep dungeons are basically these roguelike dungeons where random floors, sets of enemies to fight in the floor before you move on. Standard roguelike procedure. Get little temporary buffs that can help you as you dungeon. And I wanted to clear this one called Heaven on High. So it's 100 floors of hell, contrary to the name,
Mm.
where you climb to the top. Every 10 floors you get a boss. It starts off, it's not so bad, but as you climb the tower, it gets gradually harder. Enemies have more health, enemies hit harder, enemies' mechanics are a lot more intricate. So it's a journey. And if you die, you go right back to the start if you want the title, which of course I want the title. That's the achievement.
Yeah.
So a full run takes you about 8 hours if you clear solo, which is, pretty long time. Probably as long as some modern games, but it's very punishing obviously. But you learn a lot through it. Like it sucked to go through for the clear, but I learned a lot in the process about the game because the fun thing about Deep Dungeon is that you engage with like mechanics in 14 that typically you're not going to engage with in like 99% of content. So you learn a lot of little interesting things like sleep actually de-aggroes enemies, or
Hmm.
if you like are fighting an enemy that uses like magic as their auto attack, you could hide behind a wall and you just don't get hit. Stuff like that is very weird stuff that you wouldn't expect to be in the game, but you pretty much need that knowledge to get to the end. But it's very much a tower of skill checks and knowledge checks and oh shit, the enemies on this floor are gonna hit you about 30% harder and you might have a 40% chance to miss your next attack. So couple that with the pain of power outages, internet outages, and other bullshit causing you to lose your run. I was fucking ecstatic when I made it to the fucking top. Like, oh my god. This was a project I've worked on and off for like a year and a half. And back in September when like finally got to floor 100, I fucking popped off. Like, oh my god. Because that was literal hundreds of hours just for that one achievement. But you know what? I fucking did it. And it's something
Yes.
that like less than 1% of the player base has accomplished. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's fun. That
But
is
yeah,
insane
just
though.
imagine spending about 200 hours on to beat a roguelike.
Yeah. God,
It's like
that is
imagine a
fun.
Hades run that lasts 8 hours,
Yeah,
and
but
yeah.
you're just like the longer and longer it goes, like I can't. I have to see it through. I can't stop now. Because it reminds me of like to a less extent, because it doesn't take as long, but like when I would try to do the like years ago when I would try to do the what was it called? Like Bloody Towers and like the DMC games, and
Oh
just
yeah,
like you
Bloody
get so far,
Palace.
you get so far. Or yeah, Bloody Palace. And then but like
Yeah.
at a certain point you're like, I'm too high into this right now. If I fail now, I'm gonna lose my shit
Yep.
so much.
One mistake is fatal, especially when you get to
Yeah.
like floor 80 to 100, where if you don't know how to fight the enemies, they will one-shot you.
Jesus.
And you lose
Ugh.
probably about 6 hours of progress at that point. It's great. Everything's fine.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. Won't freak out about that at all. Yeah. Uh, all right. With that, I'll move it to Randy this time. Randy, biggest gaming achievement that you have accomplished this past year.
I'll do two real quick ones.
Mhm.
I'll say it was also uh it was getting through Typhon for the very first time on Hades 2.
Yeah.
Damn
Um
straight. Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
such a cool fight.
yeah,
Mhm.
like I technically did that before 1.0 was out, before full release. It was just before that was coming out. And so I didn't like look up any guides and stuff, or like good like boon combinations or anything like that, because I was like, well, this is technically still early access, all of it's kind of subject to change. um but it was just it was really accomplishing being able to to get through him, just like first time, or not, obviously it wasn't my first time fighting him, but technically before 1.0 came out and stuff. It's very very challenging. um there was that, and then on a I mean, I've had some fun clutch moments on Rivals. I can't particularly remember any. I mean, it's been fun doing some like bullshit with like the portals and whatnot. I remember
Yeah.
there was, I don't think it even worked super well, but we did do it once in a match where you dropped a portal and I was Wolverine on the side you were using the portal on, and you like put
Yeah.
it just behind them, and like I ulted through the portal, so they just suddenly hear um the portal sound effect as it starts to open, and just me torpedo through them.
I think
So
I have that exact clip. I think I put that in our first what's it called? Like the like low rank Marvel video.
I think you did. Yeah, you did, because that was really fun. A lot of those moments from low rank rivals
Yeah.
was fun.
Good for
And then I
you.
guess the
You
other
know what?
thing for having being like someone who I don't play competitive at all.
Mhm.
Like I don't do anything like you guys have your siege tournaments and stuff that you guys
Yeah.
will do and whatnot. And I know for a little bit there, I think Robert, you were doing a lot of like Smash tournaments and whatnot.
Don't remind me.
But but yeah, so I don't know. I felt a little accomplished to be like I'm solo queuing and like for someone who's not super great at shooters, like I made it to gold. Damn it! So yeah,
By
me.
yourself because
Oh,
we're
that's
not
By
able to
myself,
like
yeah,
yeah
solo to
we're not
gold.
able to shoot you.
A solo queue is
Yeah,
hell,
that's-
so that's awesome.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's one move.
I did it again here recently, and it was hell. I was like, oh, looks like I'm solo tank again. Okay.
That does happen a lot. Yeah.
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 I will-
I just love with rivals just like those like the clutch moments, especially with like it's stuff like I'm thinking of, and Drew probably knows why I'm thinking of this, but like Magolt, for instance. Like there's so many
Oh,
times whenever like a good Magolt can be the difference between a win and a loss. Mostly because he probably has one of the best ults in the game to counter a like support ults, which dominate the kind of the scene right now.
Mhm.
God. So
Yeah, being able
that-
to shut down a cloak and dagger, or heck, even earlier today, I dunked on a invisible woman. She ulted, and I just immediately no.
Did you even
Won't
see
go-
her, or did
not
you
doing
just like just yeet it in there and hope for the best?
No, she dropped it right on top of me, so like I was in there with her.
Oh, okay. So this was like a quick one. Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is not my proudest accomplishment. This is just something recent that like I last night me and Drew were playing competitive because I was like, I've been wanting to. I haven't really tried it out, but I wanted to play competitive. So we were doing good. We had some really good games. But one time I was playing Mag, and Drew was Iron Man. Of course he was. And
yeah.
there's a part where they are cloak and daggering it, and I'm like, all right, I'll initiate Mag ult. But then as soon as I initiate Mag ult, the enemy Scarlet started like ulting and started moving towards our supports, and I'm like, I have to make a choice. Like I literally had, do I go for the cloak and dagger or do I go for the fucking like Scarlet that's about to wipe out like our supports? I was like, so I quickly snapped around and yeeted it at the ulting Scarlet and killed her. And then Drew ended up just ulting the like cloak and dagger anyways. But I
It
felt
was a
like
true telltale choice because I just was gonna hit whoever you didn't.
exactly. It did felt like time slowed down for a second, and I was in a fucking like telltale game. It's like kill the Scarlet or kill the cloak and dagger. It's like
Yeah.
will-
No, I feel you. I had similar to that. I think it is in our low tier rivals video where as Wolverine, I yeet a Scarlet as she's about to ult.
Alright.
I pluck her out the sky.
Oh,
And then that did happen recently. We didn't record it, but that happened recently where she came in, and it was a similar thing. Plucked her out of the sky to get us to secure the point. And why are all these against the Scarlet? I'm realizing I think it is also in our low tier video where I'm mag ulting, and I just see a little
you
red
hit her.
dot of Scarlet coming across the sky, like trying to get by me. I'm like, where do you think you're going? And as soon as she comes out of it, I just hit her in the fucking head with the ult.
I
Sorry, Scarlet players.
I have one. I'll have one more, just because like we're talking about, and just because Seth mentioned this, and I have to talk about this moment, and I sent you guys
yeah.
the clip of it, of
You
in
best
like
be dunking on a Scarlet.
in the very not exactly
It's
Scarlet,
yeah.
but I'm playing Iron Man again, and this is like a game or two later, and we're just we're destroying these people. Like it's a push mode. We get it all the way, and they're just like really struggling to get it. And throughout the entire game, I get like one triple as Iron Man, like only with the ult. I got like another quad without it. And for a while, I was just like, I'm just gonna keep solo ulting the Jeff because it was funny. And so I just kept ulting him every time. I was
Deserved.
just flying their backline and just blow them up. And there was one time where it was the first time they'd used every ult, everything they had, they had killed us all. And I'm flying back, and I'm the first one back. I go around them, and I think my exact thing to Seth was like, "Hey, you want to see something funny? I'm gonna blow him up again." And I couldn't find Jeff, but I found Cloak and Dagger, so I'm like, "Oh, this will be funny." And I get as close as Iron Man possibly can to her, like put the ult in the back of her head, and I'm thinking, "Oh, this will be funny." It's a solo ult, and I blow it up 4K. And I literally, you even see in the clip my surprise. I'm just like, where did the other guys come from? I didn't mean to. I didn't.
It was insane. Weirdly enough, the one person that was there was two people. It was an Angela. The one other person that was not involved at that ult, Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff
the one
was-
I was looking for. I couldn't find him, so I'm like, well, I guess I'll just blow up you, and then got the whole other team. And it was like the scene from Invisible where he's like, I thought you were stronger. I didn't mean to go this hard. I dropped like
God.
almost 50 kills in that game.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say, and I just remembered this. I'm surprised me or Randy didn't bring this up. Randy, we beat Nightmare 4 difficulty in the Marvel's like zombie mode.
That's
And you were
true. As
fine.
just like a 2-person queue,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and like,
or well,
so
and not a 2-person as in we duoed it, but like
Yeah.
we only had
We
two
had two
people in voice
randoms
chat
with us,
together. We had two
but
other
we were
randoms.
carrying them. And I want to point out, yes, I was Blade, which was the best character in that mode. Randy was Punisher, which was arguably the worst character in that mode.
Damn.
Yeah, I
Still
did.
fucking
I
good.
did eventually give up on Shotgun Punisher. I was like, okay,
Yeah, no, there was
this
a
isn't
time where we
working.
were really
As much as I
trying,
loved Shotgun Punisher, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Just
Shotgun
trust me,
Punisher is kind of fun for the meme of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It
Of
is.
like
But
reloading
Assault
forever.
Rifle Punisher is the way to go.
But we
And
did
you
it,
just you
yeah.
have to get a little bit of space. You gotta try and get a little bit of space. Let them chase your blade around or your multiple blades, whatever. And you guys just kind of got to do like a washing machine motion.
Yeah.
You're just always moving the same direction. You're keeping your space, hitting headshots while they're all trying
Yeah,
to
we
kill
we
Blade.
spent like a good 5 days just trying
Yeah,
to
we
beat
did trying to get Nightmare
that
4.
specific mode. Fun times. All right, but we've been on a lot of Marvels clips for a while. So Seth, how about you close us up with something different? Unless yours is also Marvel, which is okay.
It is not Marvel.
Yeah.
So one thing I do is I am a big completionist type player. Like if I really like a game, I'm gonna 100% it. Like about 80 to 90% of the time because that means it's like okay, I really love this game. I want to get this. I love going for all the stuff, all the achievements, trophies, all that jazz. This past year, and I'm not saying this is my accomplishment. Yeah, I'll let you know when it is. This
Mhm.
past year got about like 14 games 100%ed. That is including 2 Ninja Gaiden games, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and Ninja Gaiden 4, both requiring you having the multiple playthroughs, putting on Master Ninja. Those games are the most difficult pieces of shit I've ever played. Damn near like wanted to break my controller like countless times. I still don't know which is harder, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black or Ninja Gaiden 4 on Master Ninja, but I got through it. Really enjoyed my time with those. But weirdly, the thing I want to highlight as my favorite accomplishment is out of all the 100% completionist stuff I've done, what is the thing I really enjoyed doing the most? And honestly, I got to settle that the most fun 100% completionist thing and my favorite accomplishment this year was 100%ing Helldivers 2. And it's just because Helldivers 2 just has one of the most fun achievement lists in a video game, in my opinion. Like there's some classic stuff I think it's funny, like during one mission, kill 100 enemies using fire damage. The achievement's called Kill It with Fire. Hey, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
like
the
it.
flashbacks. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
They're so angry.
Yeah, and I
angry.
love one of my favorite another achievement is Hold My Liberty. While using the jump pack, knock yourself out in Ragdoll, which I think I did the very first time I used the jump pack. I didn't even know that was an achievement. And there's some other like great stuff too. Like if you're really looking for a challenge, there's stuff like Hell Dive, complete an extreme difficulty mission or higher without anyone dying, or like there's a bunch of other ones, and there's some grindy ones like complete a certain amount of missions. But if you play Helldivers 2, that stuff's naturally going to come to you. But I think one of the ones that I was really happy with was the very last achievement, and it was just because it was the one time where I'm like asking my friends like, "Hey, this one I'm going to need help with," and everybody got on board with it a little too much. the achievement is called "It's the Only Way to Be Sure," which is to have 6 orbital barrage
I remember
stratagems
this.
in the same place at the same time. So I think it's Randy, I think it's Drew, and I think it's Jake. And I'm like, hey, we need to have 6 orbital stratagems. I think if each of us get 2 at a time, will be great. You fuckers picked a defense mission, and your entire loadout was nothing but orbital stratagems.
You said you wanted
here to help.
orbitals. You said
here
you
to
wanted orbitals, and we
And it
give you
was-
orbitals.
and then so like and it was the best achievement, honestly, to be the last one to unlock for this game, because it felt like it just encapsulated what I love about this game so much. This defense mission, and the first wave shows up, we just throw all of our shit out. I think we destroyed both gates instantly, like, and this is
Yeah.
just the first wave.
Everything, everything on that map was so I don't know if you remember when we finished it. I walked out into like the little area that they spawn in. It's just fucking craters on craters on craters. Like
There's
you can't walk.
basically nothing left of the base.
Yeah, like
Uh,
it was so fucking insane. I'm amazed we didn't crash the game.
I know, it's crazy, and it's just like, and like we talk about Helldivers too, and it's such a fun game, and I don't think it needs to be stressful. It can be if you want, and there is a certain fun, I will admit, to like having the challenge and really facing those overwhelming forces, so you can get those, like, the TikTok clips of the last stand against like a whole wave of automatons or something. Um, but it summarizes what I love about Helldivers 2 is like it's the game that sits on that razor's edge of being so cool and so badass, but also just goofy as shit with like the physics and like the Looney Tunes esque bullshit your team gets up to, and that's why I love it. I just it's one of my favorite games to play with my friends now. It's become like pretty much a permanent part of my library, just because like it's just so fun. I love the constant updates that we keep receiving for this game, and just the love and just how committed everybody is to just having a fun time with this. And also, it's a live service type game that doesn't feel like a live service game, where it's like I don't feel like I have to log in every day to keep
Yeah.
up. Like it feels like it respects my time. And also, like, Randy, you were talking about your like level 16, but honestly, like, I don't feel like you're that far away from us. Like, level 16
Yeah, I'm
means you
not
just
that
have
far behind. It doesn't feel like.
yeah, it just means you maybe don't get to have as much of the stratagems as maybe we might have, but like you're still like an equal part of our team, and it's just a fun game. There's another achievement that's called That Which Does Not Kill You, which is fun because of all the friendly fire stuff we've done and having Democracy Protects, of course, this has happened. It's called That Which Does Not Kill You. Be injured in all limbs at the same time, which means it's your arms, it's your chest, and your legs. I got this achievement because Democracy Protect procced on me whenever Drew dropped on me with a fucking hell pod.
I remember this very specifically because as you're dropping on like the pod, you can see your teammates, and it's really easy just to aim at you. And
Yeah,
I think I've hit you twice and Jake once, and you survived one of the times I hit you, which was insane.
and Democracy Protects.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you know what Democracy Protects is, it's an armor set that I think everybody gets. It's a perk that basically gives you a 50% chance of surviving lethal damage, and it procs way more than you'd think. It's pretty fun. So it's God, what an incredible game. I'm so glad I get to play it with my friends, and truly I think like my favorite accomplishment is just like I like to go for challenge runs. I like to play games on the hardest difficulty and all that, and those are always fun. But for me, my favorite accomplishments are the ones that, like, in a corny way, I get to do with my friends, because those are the ones I remember the most. So, well, it's a 100% to get, and doing it along the way with these just stupid and fun achievements. It was a blast. So I really appreciate that.
All
It's
this
a
while
great game.
protecting managed democracy.
Yeah,
Damn straight.
it is
Democracy protects.
It is a great game and it's super fun. Just super fun game with people. All right, but that said, our last category for the 2025 games was the biggest surprise. This was the one that we weren't expecting this to be amazing. We weren't expecting this to blow us away. It kind of came out of left field. Um, and like if Expedition 33 wasn't actually my first one, it'd be like that where like I wasn't really on my radar personally, and then it came out. I'm like, wait, this is awesome. It should have been on my radar. So that little explanation said, Robert, what was your biggest surprise for 2025?
Because I'm just gonna keep this brief for the interest of time.
Yeah,
Same direct Kirby Air Riders was in. Was not expecting a 3D Donkey Kong game with Bonanza, but I was surprised to see a game like that, and its core mechanics of you could basically break everything was like really fun to play through. Like it's
yeah.
such a simple mechanic, like oh you can break shit, but it's such like an integral part of that game that it's like it's just really fun to play. Didn't expect them to make something like that, and yeah.
No, great choice,
Yeah.
honestly. It is their Donkey Kong equivalent to Mario Odyssey, and again, would have another game that would have definitely been in the more conversation of game of the year if 2025 wasn't what 2025 was. All right.
Exactly.
So, speeding through this one, Randy, it's your turn. What was your biggest surprise for
I
2025?
think my biggest surprise, well, I don't know. I don't know if it was that much of a surprise. Consider like once you gave me the pitch, um, for it was this game called Absalom.
Oh yeah.
That you got me to play with
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
We had a couple of internet issues and kind of lagginess initially, but I remember I spent a long weekend. I think it's actually was it before my birthday weekend here recently, or
Um,
anyway. Anyway, I was over at your place for some time, and like we
yeah.
spent like all day playing it. Like it was really like, fun doing like kind of a couch co-op session with it, and yeah, I mean, I look forward to us trying to play it again.
Yeah.
Um,
I have
hopefully, less internet issues and
yeah, I
whatnot.
have some videos that I need to go and implement to like see if I can make the Steam Deck work a little bit better online, like change some settings up, which I'll do, or eventually just get you to come back down because we were like we almost made it to the last guy. I'm sure a row like this, there's probably more after the fact.
Oh yeah,
But
I'm sure.
we
But
made
yeah,
some good
it's
progress.
a co-op roguelike. You get boons and stuff, or level ups and
Yeah,
things of that nature. Um, kind of like Hades in regards to some of
yeah,
the stuff, how you can augment your attacks and whatnot with these boons. And yeah, it's really fun. You get a couple different characters. I was really excited to play the mage. Also, it's
frog.
yeah, it's more medieval coded instead of Greek mythology coded
Yeah.
like Hades and whatnot. And yeah, it's really fun.
Mhm.
It's another one of those games that is probably like um relatively cheap. It's a little another indie game, and it's a lot
Mhm.
of fun. I think I got it for $35 or something.
It's not
Yeah,
bad at
yeah,
all.
it's super cheap, and that's like how much it
I
was
was been
when
corrected.
it
It's 25
released.
bucks. It's
Yeah,
25 bucks right now on Steam.
it's
Nice.
super fun. It is the best. It's like the best beat 'em up. One of the best roguelikes. Hades 2 did come out this year. It's so much fun. It's got really good like art style, and it plays really good. Also, another game, phenomenal music. A couple tracks done by the legendary Mick Gordon, who a lot of us know from the Doom games. Um,
Mhm.
highly
I know
recommend
that.
it. Yeah.
And like yeah, speaking of art style, God, I love that game. It's in my top 10 list.
Mhm.
One thing I found with Absalom that I'm surprised how other people mention, but I figured I'd just mention it here. Very Mike Mignola reminiscent of the Hellboy comics. Very
Yeah,
like stark
yeah,
colors and like thick dark lines. Like I
very yeah,
really
very
love the
heavy
look of this
shadows.
game.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. I never actually drew the comparisons of like, oh yeah, It is kind of like that. It's a very deep drop shadow on everything, which isn't. It's a very like bold art direction, but it definitely works for this game.
It started to register with me when you fight the Underking boss, which is the Mick Gordon soundtrack plays for him. Like I looked at him as like, with the shallow eyes and like the dark outlines on him, he's a very Hellboy looking type character.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this game was great. This was the same team who did Streets of Rage 4, which was one of my favorite games like back in 2020. So like they kicked ass here. An incredible beat 'em up.
Gotcha. All right. Well, for me, Absolem actually was potentially on my list. I had a bunch of games that I could have done here, and I went back and forth. I give a quick shout out to Marvel Cosmic Invasion, but I was like, I wasn't a surprise that game was good. I knew I was gonna love it. It's a Marvel beat 'em up, of course I love it. Dispatch, I was like, maybe I'll talk, but I was like, Seth will definitely talk about it. I like Doom Eternal, but that wasn't a surprise. The game that kind of came out of left field and actually took over for me a while, and the game that like the only reason I didn't like try to go back and like do more. I did all the side quests, but I didn't try to like do a second playthrough or anything, which is because Expedition came out right after. Was Kazan. Kazan, in my opinion, has become one of my favorite Souls-like games, and it's barely a Souls-like game. Like technically, it's like it's a stamina and like it's dodge and parries, and it's a hard game where you fight bosses, but it feels so much more action game coded, just with all like the crazy moves you can do and like the flips and dips and everything. Um, it's so underrated, and I feel like it's really underrated because it came out like just before Expedition 33 came out and just kind of got swarmed over. But like there was just a time in that summer where so many great games came out. And I remember specifically in this time, I was about to play South of Midnight, and I stopped and I didn't play that game because this Kazan game came out. I was like, this looks so cool. And I played it, and I'm really glad I did because if we were doing a most disappointed thing this year, my would have been South of Midnight. That game's not as good as it looks. Um, but Kazan is so much fun. That's another game that I think you all would really like. I think Randy, if you played it, actually might get you into the Souls-like genre. But it's great. It is with its flaws. Like the story's very basic and generic. The art style works for some people. I feel like it's one of those things like the colors are a bit too saturated. There's a lot of reds and grays and blacks that kind of don't do the game a lot of favors. But the combat and the feel of that game is perfect. It is some of the most fun I've had with gameplay in a game. It has one of the most fun great swords that's ever been put in a game. But honestly, the weapon I chose a lot was the dual wielding, the axe and the sword combo. Uh, just going unga bunga on things. So highly recommend Kazan, and more people should be talking about it. It is a shame that I got snubbed, even just to get recommended for Beck's action game when a game like Battlefield 6 did. And I'm still not over that.
I completely forgot about Kazan, honestly, and I feel bad because I literally got that game.
I know. Well, it's not your
Well,
fault.
give it to me, Robert. Shit, I've been waiting for it to go on sale.
Mm. It's just one of those things where like there's so many other amazing things that came out, and Kazan just kind of got forgotten about. But it's really fun, and they add a bunch of like quality of life things to it later. Uh, anyway, yeah, go play the game. This is your reminder that Kazan exists and it's a good game.
I almost
Seth,
started it, then I played Neo.
yeah, again, like stuff just came out. Yeah,
Neo's
I'm not even mad. I get it.
yeah. First Berserker Kazan, I can understand kind of that with Robert because it's like it's very Neo-esque and it's like it's very hard to describe unless you just played Neo. But yeah, like First Berserker Kazan has like a lot of those kind of elements to it. One thing I like about that game that I really enjoyed from the demo is the fact that you earn XP when you lose boss fights. I think it's great, especially with Souls likes. It's just like, a lot of times you're just constantly grinding against the same boss and it can kind of suck. it helps at least lessen the blow just a little bit to know it's like, well, at least I'm leveling up from this and I'm getting a little bit stronger each time I fight this boss and also learning their patterns. So it does feel like success is inevitable. You just kind of have to keep pushing through. So
Yeah.
I do like that.
It takes a lot from the Souls and adds like a lot more like quality of life things to it. So
Yeah.
great game. Play it. Don't forget about Kazan.
Yeah.
Seth, the big final one. Your biggest
All
surprise of this
right.
year.
My biggest surprise. Real quick, I just want to do a quick shout out for big surprise, just because they did the whole like we're gonna drop a trailer for it and then actually drop it the same day of Liza P Overture DLC. That thing is fucking great.
Yeah.
It's actually in my top 10 list of games this year because it's like just fucking incredible. I think that these people are basically on par with FromSoft with in terms of like how great they do Souls likes. And with the quality of life decisions that they make that FromSoft just simply doesn't, I think they're standouts in the genre, and I really love their stuff. So I hope we see more from Round 8. I just wanted to shout them out real quick. My actual best surprise game is a game called And Roger. Not many like this is a game that like went from not really being talked about a lot in at least the spaces I was listening to. There's suddenly a lot of people are talking about it, and I think it deserves it. It didn't make my top 10 list, but it was a game I was genuinely surprised by how much I enjoyed, how much I really loved its story. The basic pitch of it is it's a visual novel style game where you do these sort of like mini games that helps provide a bit more perspective of what this character is going through that you are playing as. And it's very interesting because it's a lot about deliberately being a little bit aggravating with the mini games and evoking like strong emotions through them. The very first mini game is like you're this kid who woke up late and they need to get ready for school, so they need to go brush their teeth. So you go into the bathroom and you have just these button prompts, but they don't tell you what the buttons do. They're all in weird spots, and you click it, and it's like, okay, grab toothbrush. Okay, this one turns off the faucet. Okay, this puts like the toothpaste on. You have to do it in the right order, and it's purposely frustrating. There's even a thing where you could end up with 2 toothbrushes in your hands because of the confusion. But it's using these mini games to, like I say, really put you in the perspective of, hey, this character is going through something, and understanding and help just build that understanding of what that might be like. And the story is touching. It can be heartwarming, but also it can be just like very frank and real with its subject matter in a way that I really appreciate. Uh, I I love this game, and it's just like I say. I think the story it tells feels so personal and human and emotional, and doing it through a way that only a game can tell this story is incredible. Uh, the best thing I can say about it too is it's an easy recommend. And Roger, which is like the word and then Roger, just making sure it's not and Roger. That's not the name. Uh, it's on Steam. You can play it on your Steam Deck. It's $4.99, and you can beat the game in like 55 minutes. That's how long it took me. I love it. It's a super easy recommend. One of the best stories and like one of the best ways to tell a story. The best way I can leave it off with is one part that really got to me is you're playing as this character, older now, having a conversation with this guy, and it's clear that she likes him. And like how the mini game works with this conversation is you draw a line from her to the subject she kind of wants to talk about, which is represented by pictures. And you have to draw a certain line, and it's like, oh, you keep messing up, like you're not making the line. And then it's his line that comes from the subject to help connects you to make it easier to talk with them. Really made me be like, oh fuck, like it's such a small thing, but it really helped develop this like just it's just hard to describe. It's really just that just got this emotion out of me that I wasn't expecting. So like I say, highly recommend And Roger. It does deal with some pretty like tough subject matter that's very personal for a lot of people, I think a lot of people will realize what it is very early on when they play it. It's not like the game's making it a secret, but it's really good. I highly recommend it.
All right. Well, great recommendations for all things 2025. And before we kind of sign off and close off, I will say instead of doing what we traditionally do, which is our like fresh picks of the week, which definitely needs a new name because it's not a weekly podcast. But instead of doing that, instead of saying like, oh, these are the things we've been playing, doing all that, what we'll be doing, we'll be saying what we're most looking forward to up into the coming year because we just gave you all the things that we've been playing with and what we recommend. But these are the things that we've been watching, looking forward to, and hope to be playing in the future. So I will start us off with this one, and I'm gonna kind of already cheat from the rules I just made up because I'm gonna pick a game that I have already started playing, but I'm definitely gonna play more of. And I'm specifically pitching this actually to Robert, and it's 2XKO.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's a really fun fighting game, man. It's it looks super simple and it's very easy to get into because the base controls, I think you can change it. The base controls is just motion inputs. There's just two special buttons. You just do, forward, back, or down, and that's a different move. And there's two of those buttons, and then light, medium, heavy, and then the tag. It's a bit awkward because there's that, and then you can do a dash macro, and there's a parry button. So it takes a slight minute, but it's relatively easy to pilot, but that doesn't make it a simple fighting game. There's still really interesting combos and interesting combo routes. A bunch of team synergy because this is a tag game. But it is very loose with this tagging. And what I mean by that of anything, you can switch to the other person. At any point in their assist, you hit the button and they do this like handshake clap sound and you're playing the other guy. Even if your front character's still in motion doing the move you were doing, you can do that to like just keep pressure up and switch immediately into them.
So you're not
Um,
switching characters, you're switching who's controlling the character.
yes. So, like, for an example, I'm playing Darius, this big dude with an axe, and I can do a move where Darius leaps forward, does like kind of the spin and like this spinning move with the axe. While Darius is mid spin with the axe, I can push the tag button, push it again to switch to my second character. Darius will continue the move, but now I can keep going with the second character and like try to cross them up or something as they're still in hit stun. Eventually, Darius will finish the spin move and leave. Um, but there's a lot of scenarios where like both characters will be out at the same time because one's finishing the other's move. And that's just like really fun. It's very loose on like when you can switch back and forth. And because it's a tag game, they do the thing that I think all tag games should do, which it has team-based multiplayer, which means if Robert gets the game, which by the way, free game, he can be my partner, which means he controls when the assist comes out, when the burst happens, and at certain points, if he assists, I can be like, all right, your turn, and now you're in, and I'm the assist. And I think that is just a really fun mechanic for fighting games. I've just really enjoyed it. It's not perfect. It is new, so it's a very limited roster, especially for a tag game. I think there's only like 7 to 8 characters right now.
That's about right.
And it should, yeah, I should also mention it is based off like the League of Legend characters, but I know nothing about them, so that's going to be brand new to me. And the biggest compliment I can give it, the net code is really good. Like I have only had like one, like maybe 2 laggy matches. Everything else feels like I'm playing someone on the same couch as me.
It's
Um,
Riot, they got money to get some good
Yeah.
rollback investment.
they know how to make an online game, so that is a really good thing. And I will also admit, like the other kind of big, because I always have to bring this up. Even for a free game, they kind of do have some outrageous prices for like their currency and stuff. There are ways to earn stuff, for free as these games are, but know that going in of this isn't like Marvel where it actually has somewhat reasonable prices. This is closer to Overwatch where their prices are ridiculous and they're like, well, it's free, so it's not that bad. Um, with those two little negatives out of the way, I have had a lot of fun starting, and I will continue to have fun with this game as we move forward because there's so many league characters, and I know that this game will get supported for a while. So I'm excited to try out new people as they come out. I do kind of have a team right now, which is Darius and Warwick. They're fun, but I definitely can see like maybe I'll switch Warwick out for someone else, but probably not Darius. There. He's very fun, and also he's very easy to play in a chaotic kind of fighting game like that. So
I think I remember playing League with Jacob back in high school, and I think Darius was like one character I played.
yeah, I can let you know, Robert, this is way more fun than playing actual League.
Oh yeah, no, actually, kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Look, I love Arcane, and I really like this. I'm never touching League of Legends. Like, I'm sorry,
I
Jacob,
can't get into it, and that's a
yeah, I'm
blessing,
not doing
honestly.
it. But hey, Arcane's great, and like half the characters in it, and this is from Arcane because they know their audience. But yeah, highly recommend it. It is kind of right now like the big fighting game that's coming out, especially in a time when there aren't a lot of fighting games, at least not for a while. Because other than
Just
this, like
updates on existing ones.
yeah. So this is kind of gonna be like the new one, and it's fun. I can see myself playing this for a while. So recommend. And I need that duo partner, Robert. Come on. But yeah, that is my kind of game I'm looking forward to. I will shoot over to Robert now. You after I just hard pitch that to you. What's your kind of game you're looking forward to for 2026?
I don't have a whole lot on my radar at the moment because, frankly, we don't know a whole lot of what's coming out this year. Like, I know there's Resident Evil Requiem that I'll probably pick up later on a sale.
Mhm.
There's is it Pragmata? That's also Capcom. Kind of interested. I just need
Yeah.
to see more on it. The big two though, I've talked about Trails enough, so I'll let second chapter kind of just sit there. The other one I'm pretty interested in because of course I am a Fire Emblem fan. There is a new Fire Emblem game coming out this year, probably. They haven't announced a release date besides 2026, but yeah, it looks like it's taking place in the same like world that Three Houses takes place in. I don't know if it's like way before or way after, but some of the weapons in the trailer were like the relic weapons from that game, and I'm pretty sure Sothis shows up at the trailer. So I'm kind of curious to see how all that kind of ties together to houses. 'Cause I did like that game.
All right. Good picks indeed. All right.
Nice.
Randy, your turn. What are you looking forward to this upcoming year?
All right, so I guess I got I'll do three kind of rapid fire. Um, one, just
Mhm.
because I mean I think I'm surprised we haven't said it yet, having gotten 50% through the group. But also we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it's a 2027 release.
Yeah.
GTA 6.
Yeah.
That game's coming out
That
2028.
exists, maybe.
Yeah.
Technically it exists.
Yeah.
Anyway, should be fun. Assuming the game isn't just incredibly broken somehow. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, I played a little bit of GTA 5. The story was fun. I played a very, very small amount of online, but I do actually enjoy the car customization in that game and whatnot. But yeah, moving forward from that,
Yeah.
the Resident Evil Requiem,
Yeah.
that's coming out here soon. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up right away. I might. I usually play
Oh.
the Resident Evil games around Halloween, so I might wait just because zombies, spookiness, whatever.
Yeah.
It feels like a fun Halloween game.
Give it like
enough.
a year, it'll go down to like 20 to 30 bucks.
Well, I won't. Yeah, I mean it'll be a good couple months, but yeah. So
Didn't know you were.
I mean I've played the last couple ones. I've
Mm.
kind of hopped on when they did the remake of 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then I played Village and 7. So
RE4
yeah.
remake.
I actually didn't. I did skip that one.
That's the one you need to play.
You don't play Requiem till you play RE4 remake.
Yep. Or art
Especially
or
with,
original.
Well, I
like,
have all the way till
We'll count
October.
that
though.
as well. If you play the original, that's fair too.
yeah, and I think it's just like, yeah, like with, especially with this being like, with Leon kind of coming back into the story, I definitely think Resident Evil 4 will probably be required viewing, because like you're getting a continuation of not Resident Evil 2 Leon, you're getting a continuation of Resident Evil 4 Leon, and you gotta understand what they do to this man's power level.
Oh yeah.
Bro.
I mean, I've seen
Yeah,
I've
could
seen the
probably
fair.
skip
backflip
6
off the
though.
wall to dodge the
But you haven't
chainsaws.
felt. You know what
I haven't felt. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. And then finally they just showed some gameplay for it and a lot more features for it. We're doing Forza Horizon 6 finally. The last one came out, I think, 2021 or 2020,
I think it was
Um,
21. I think it was after I moved.
and I'm so excited. They're finally setting it in Japan.
Mhm.
Which will be super dope. I'm already like a huge fan of car culture in general. I will admit I do lean in regards to like between German American and like I guess not necessarily just German, but European, American and Japanese automotive stuff. I definitely lean more Japanese style stuff. They've added a good bit of customization. Um, they've added they're kind of waning back so much the uh um here's everything, and like me saying before how, oh, you can just, if you want to drive that Lamborghini, we can get you that Lamborghini in like 2 hours minimum, whatever. They are weaning that back. There actually is supposed to be
Yeah.
more of a progression. You don't start as like the most recent one, you just start as like one of the already well established high ranking like superstars at the festival or whatever, and like one of them before you were like one of the like managers or whatever, and so they win that back. You're not even in the Horizon Festival when you start. You're just someone who lives in Japan. That's it. You got to first qualify to even be allowed into the festival and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for the customization. The game looks beautiful. They've added a bunch of other smaller things, like almost kind of life style stuff, to where like you can own houses, and in that house you can kind of customize the way your garage looks and what cars you have displayed there. Invite your friends over to come check out your garage. You can you're gonna kind of have this base area um, to where it'll act as a house, but then it also is just a giant blank field that you can then build anything in. They have this thing called the Event Creator that they've had in uh, Horizon 5 and whatnot. And so they've just added way more tools for that, made it more user friendly. You can work on like building custom maps together and co-op with a friend. So it's just, they've listened to a lot of, I think, feedback that we've been asking for, and yeah, I'm pumped on it. And it's it's gonna be day one with Game Pass, and I might be like, Drew, just give it a shot. I know you're not super into cars, but who knows? Maybe you'll be like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's all right.
The setting is cool enough. Like I'm
Yeah.
definitely, I'm not a Forza person, but I've definitely been looking at this. I'm like, I don't see myself getting super into it, like playing through to completion, but I do see myself at least downloading it. So I want to drive through and just see like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to see what how it, like, just how they like depict Japan and how it all looks. That'd be cool.
When did you say it
Yeah,
comes
yeah, yeah.
out?
I believe
Like
May.
May? Yeah. I
Okay.
think
May this year. I think May 19th. I think.
Okay, I can maybe swing that as like a month late birthday present.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or like I said, depending on if you have Game Pass, it's day one on Game Pass.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's dead on May 19th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Good.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. All right.
Randy did his research on this one.
Yeah,
Well, they
came
just
in-
they showed the
Fair.
trailer and stuff for it literally like this past Thursday, the 22nd.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, he did his homework for this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Wow. Seth, let's even close us off. Did you also do your homework? Seth, what is your most anticipated game of 2026?
All right. So for me, I have technically two. One is like one. It's like, yeah, I feel confident this one's coming out this year, relatively about as confident as I feel about any game coming out this year. Um, and then I have another one that is like this is my long shot one that I'm just hoping to manifest. Uh, so first one is the first game is the Fable remake, which also happens to be coming from Playground Games, same people doing the Forza game.
Oh yeah, I
They
totally forgot about that. Anyway, continue.
yeah yeah. So they showed off their showcase. Uh,
It would have
at the
been
same
Thursday at
one.
the same event as Horizon. I was
Exactly.
working, so I just looked up the Forza stuff only.
No, I got you. And then so like yeah, mine is Fable. It looks good, it looks promising. I will say this is not just I have confidence in Playground Games, but also I will say that like even if it disappoints, in case people have forgotten over the course of history, Fable as a series has always been notorious for Peter Molyneux coming on and making crazy promises about like, oh, in Fable 2, if you die, you'll get a scar, and then the person who kills you will like years will pass and he'll become a villain and he'll remember you and blah blah blah. And it's just like none of that shit was in the game. So like they make a bunch of big ambitious promises about like each NPC is handcrafted or whatever. They all have names, they all have certain tags of like what they'll have an opinion about you, like how you handle a quest or something, which, sounds cool, but also like will they pull this off? It just remains to be seen. But at the same time, I do enjoy the Fable series for what it is. All I'm saying is like if Fable 1 comes out and it turns out to be a little bit disappointing in some of its features, all I have to say is like this is in line with the rest of the series. Uh,
It's not disappointed. It's canon.
yeah, it's canon.
Is lore accurate?
Lore
but
accurate, yeah.
I'm at least interested just because it'll be cool to see because I think the thing that people haven't quite registered, and I think what makes Fable stands out is Fable is more like fantasy Sims because you're doing Sims type shit, and it just happens that Fable has like actual combat and magic and all that bullshit. So it'll be interesting to see how they can pull that off. So that's the only thing I feel confident because to be frank, some of the other games I'm looking forward to, I just don't have like that much. I don't want to be too like overly confident, like whether they'll be super good or not. Uh, so we'll just have, or if they'll even come out this year. But then my long shot game, the one that I'm like just trying to manifest, and to be honest, I'm more manifesting. I just want more news about it rather than if it'll actually like come out or not. Is Persona 4 Revival. Uh,
Mm.
I, I, I mean, this year is what is it, Robert? 25, 30, something like that for
30th
the
anniversary?
Persona. Yeah, something like that. It's a long shot. This team has just gotten through with Metaphor Reventasio from 2024. Uh, that same year we already got Persona 3 Reload, and then they announced Persona 4 Revival, and I know it's going to take some time. So like, no way that game is just going to be like ready, and I highly doubt it'll be ready for this year. Um, but I'm more hoping that we'll at least get a little bit more news about it. Maybe a window of release or something, or at least a little bit more showing it off. Maybe we'll get an announcement of who the cast members will be. That'll be cool. Um, so that's my long shot game. Is I'm hoping for Persona 4 Revival, or at least just a smidgen of news. Even bigger long shot. Are they doing Persona 6? Is there a Persona 6? Is
Please.
Persona 6 even a thought? Or are we going to get more Persona 5 milking? I don't know.
It will. Seth, Persona 6 will come out the same time that Devil May Cry 6 comes out.
It'll come out the same time GTA 6 comes out.
Oh,
I- well,
DMC
yeah.
6 seems more likely than Persona 6.
that right now Atlas seems pretty good to be like, ah shit, they really love just us milking the old ones over and over, which is
Yeah.
just keep doing that. Which unfortunately, yes, I'm the one eating that shit up, but come on. So yeah, that's
Feed
what
me
I'm
something else as you're actively eating what they've already given you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 copies of Persona, or 2 copies of Persona 3 Reload.
And it's like no, not even that. It's like, yeah, I have like 3 copies of Persona 3, all of them different versions of Persona 3.
Oh yeah, I got 4 because I got Fez on PS3.
We're the problem. We are the problem.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an exciting year. I'm just like I said, the things I'm just hoping for is just I hope this trend of like games are like I hope this trend continues of like we're looking more towards like the indie studios and looking more towards creative things. And also like, despite the way I sound, it's not that I don't want AAA to succeed. I do because there's a lot of hardworking people and devs who love their games in the AAA space. Uh I just want things to be like I want them to be treated fairly and I want them to like embrace more creativity and like take more risks and just like, not try to serve up the same, live service kind of slop that we've seen fail time and time again or rush a game before its completion or lay off more workers. Like that's kind of my big hope for this year is just like hopefully seeing people realize like how unsustainable certain practices in the gaming industry are and that we need to change some of these things.
Sure.
That's it.
Well, some great picks all around and some great times. But we've been talking for a very long time. There's a chance that this will become a two-parter. But that's a job for Robert at this point. So I want to go ahead and end things off. And I want to go ahead and thank all of you, starting with Robert. Robert, thank you so much for kind of helping me out with like recording, editing this time. And also the big shout out. Thank you so much for kind of making our new look, this new design. I love the new logo. It looks amazing. I think we have been due for a very long time for a bit of a rebrand. So yeah, it is definitely much appreciated, and thank you for joining and talking about some of your favorite games.
No problem. Yeah, I thought that that kind of feel would kind of reflects what the podcast is now, since
Mhm.
the way the podcast has evolved over the years. I think this kind of feel just fits us better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, but couldn't do this podcast all by ourselves. So I also want to thank Randy. Randy, thank you up. Thank you for joining and staying up later past your bedtime to continue talking about some video games.
I say this is past my bedtime. Let's say
Yeah.
I need some sleep debt payment here somehow.
Yeah. There you go. Well,
But it was fun.
we'll let Grandpa go to sleep here, but we can't leave without thanking Seth as well for joining and letting me know about some games that kind of flew under my radar and I didn't know about. So thank you so much for joining us, Seth.
It's no problem.
Yeah. All right. And finally, but most importantly, thank you to anyone who is listening or watching, and you've made it all the way to the very, very end. We appreciate you. Thank you, and stay safe out there.